Mate, congratulations, because last time I saw you, you were at the Comedy Awards.
Yeah.
And you picked up this new award. You picked up the King of Comedy Award for the year for last year, so congratulations. And you're still kind of pretty much at the beginning of your career. How old are you, Jack?
24.
Wow, 24 years old. So that must have been a fun moment.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so nice, and I was so, you know, overawed that people had voted for me, and yeah, it was brilliant. And you were there as well, which was nice.
I was there.
Because weirdly, with that suit thing, because Jonathan is a bit like my sort of comedy dad, in a way. You are. Within the comedy world, you are a bit like a sort of embarrassing father figure.
Oh, man. Well,
no, last time I saw Jonathan, right, we were talking about my look, and I can't work out whether I'm like a suit guy or just, like, chilled out with a T-shirt.
Well, we can see you can't quite work out. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sort of, you know...
You're halfway between the two.
I'm a halfway house. And you tried to offer me a lot of your old suits.
Yes,
because I said you used to wear, like, the garish ones. You know, back in the day, you used to wear quite
lizard
gay
skin
suits.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, that's the way.
And you were like, oh, yeah, well, I've still got them all, and if you want any of them, I will...
What is that voice you keep doing?
You were like, I realised, I looked at myself and I thought, I look a white but I've still got them all, so if you want any... I was like, I don't want your hand-me-downs.
Well, I thought it was quite a nice offer. It was a genuine offer. I was going to give you some old suits.
Your old snakeskin suits. Yes. I think I can do without them.
I think you'd look good in an old snakeskin suit.
No, I already look a little bit like you, and I think that would be bad.
Look like a younger, slightly podgier-faced version
You
of
look
me,
like me if it goes to shit.
OK, so you called me your comedy dad, but your father's still around, and you're working with your dad.
Yeah, I'm working with my dad.
So what are you doing with your father?
Well, we've written a book, and it's coming out at the end of the year. And because he's a very, very funny man, and my dad's written a book before, and we decided that we'd write this book together.
Okay, so he sort of writes how do you work together? What is the book that you can write together?
Well, he writes about me, and I write about him. And it's quite weird, because he obviously can't use a computer. So he gets very... I bought him a computer at the beginning of this process. He doesn't know what to do with it. And I handed him this computer. It was for Christmas, and I gave it to him. And I felt cruel as he was looking at this thing. He didn't know what to do. I felt like I'd given Professor Stephen Hawkins a twister mat. You know, like, it was... I felt really bad.
OK, so how old is your dad? Did he come
74, and he doesn't know... Like, I try and talk him through it.
Well,
like, on the phone, I'm like, you need to... Right, first thing you need to do is open a window. Yeah. And then I hear him getting up and going over to the window. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. But so anyway, we write it together, and I write these stories about him, and then he gets very annoyed with me because he says that I'm embellishing them, but I'm not. Like... So
what kind of stories are you sharing? Then, so you're telling what, embarrassing stories about him, or
a lot of it's about when I was still living at home, because he's very much like old-fashioned Englishman. His house is his castle.
Yeah.
And any affront to that, he gets very angry. We live in a very nice area in Putney, OK? Yeah. And there was this one time where we had a couple of guys who were up to no good that started making trouble in the neighbourhood.
Some kids, some young folks.
Some youths.
Yeah.
And these youths were outside, and they were loitering with intent. It was like 9 o'clock at night. My dad was already in bed, OK? And they were loitering.
Wow.
He goes to bed very early, and he wears earplugs as well, because my mother snores. So anyway, so they're outside, these youths, and they're loitering, and I wake up my father, and I say, there's some youths, they're loitering with intent. And he goes to the window, and he spies them, and he sees one of them chuck a cigarette, and it hits one of his hydrangeas. So that is like red rag to a bull. Grabs his dressing gown, puts on the dressing gown, goes down, opens the door, he's like, go on, piss off, get off my lawn. And there's 5 guys there, like, scary youths, you know, like, with the hoodies and then with, like, the little bikes. So they're comical and scary, like stabby clowns. And face up, like, this guy stands up to him and he's like, shut up, Downton Abbey, at my dad. And I'm like, they're going to kill him. They are going to kill him. This is going to be the end of my dad's life. And then Mother Nature intervenes. Amazing. Big gust of wind. Like, billows up through my dad's dressing gown. And because he'd come down so quickly, he hadn't had time to fasten it properly, so it shot open, like that, to expose his naked 74-year-old body, his man-sporran just glistening in the moonlight. And he tried to shut it, but because it was one of those loose sort of silk numbers, it looked like he was just billowing it more to draw it... I've never seen them run so fast.
So that's the best defence right there.
Yeah. It's such a good defence.
Yeah.
If ever there's any, like, trouble from miscreant youths, get my dad. Like, there's riots last year. The police should have had him up on one of the cars just there, going like that.
Does he realise that he is funny, though, or is this inadvertent?
No, I think he realises he's doing it sometimes, but he's just he's naturally a very funny man, and he's a great storyteller. So it's been really fun writing the book.
Well, when's it out? Well, I guess for Christmas.
End of the year.
So it's a way off. OK, you're on tour. You're going on a big tour, but this is not until next year. You're just selling the tickets now, so you're going on tour.
Yeah, we're launching the tour this weekend, and then I go on tour next year. It's the first tour I've done for ages.
And this is going to be, I guess, you've got plenty of time to write new material, or do you have the material already?
I've got some of the material already, and then I'm going to, write some more stuff.
And do you try the material out in small clubs? Do you kind of do those kind of guerrilla gigs where you turn up and just do a few minutes? Or?
I'm going to do some smaller gigs and preview it a lot, and then the actual venues that I'm doing are going to be the slightly bigger ones, and I'm going to do it in the round as well.
Okay. So why are you doing it in the round? Because that's unusual in comedy.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm going to do a really big name drop here. I was at the wrestling with Eamon Holmes. Not with Eamon, he was with his family and I was with my girlfriend. And I thought that really worked, and you're a big fan of wrestling.
I love the wrestling. OK, now, we should tell people that the Comic Relief is coming up, of course. Hopefully you'll be watching Comic Relief. And I know you're involved in that. You've just done, you said you did the Master Chef, and you've done a fresh meat special as well for Comic Relief. Is that right?
I'm doing that tomorrow morning.
OK.
At 7 a.m. in Newcastle.
So that's a special kind of a mini episode of fresh meat, or
we're going through all the universities and trying to get them to donate money for Comic Relief, which is, I don't really know how that's going to work, because they're about the only people that are worse off than the people we're raising money for. Students have no money. And we're starting at 7 a.m. And when I was a student, I didn't get up till about, like, 12.
Yeah.
And we're going through all these universities.
So it's going to be quiet at first. What did you study at university?
I studied history of art.
OK, wow, well, that's obviously coming very useful.
It's coming very useful.
How did you wind up doing history of art? Is that what you wanted your career to be?
No, it's what my father wanted my career to be. He wanted me to be an art historian, but I didn't. I ended up doing comedy. That's all I did, though, when I was at university. I used to go around and do all these gigs up in Manchester, and actually go to other universities as well. The worst one is I went to a university called the University of Warrington, which we aren't going to on the tour. Oh, we got someone in from the University of Warrington. No. You just heard Warrington and got excited.
Well, she's just been holding that whoop in for a long time.
Yeah. It was very scary, very hostile environment.
And they didn't like your comedy, or they didn't like you?
When on stage, before I'd even started, this guy at the back got up and he was like, "Oi, mate, get on with your jokes, I came here for the comedy." And I said, "No, you didn't, you came here because you f***ed up your A-levels."
Well, then, that got off to a bad start, I guess.
That's a terrible way.
All right, so the tickets for Jack's tour go on sale. I think they're on sale now.
They're on sale now,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully people... I want to build up some better fans, that's what I've decided.
What's wrong with your current fans?
Well, it's not fans. I get recognised sometimes, but I always get recognised in, like, the worst way. I was talking to some girls in a pub quite recently, you know, sort of throwing out some anecdotes, trying to be entertaining. It was going quite well, they were quite impressed. This guy came up to me, he tapped me on the shoulder and he was like, "You know who you look like?" I was like, "Oh, awkward ladies, embarrassing." "Muggins has been recognised from the telly." "Sorry, sir, fire away." He's like, "You look like a fat Jack Whitehall." That is not the one to go in on.
That's not good.
And that's not even the worst. The worst one I've ever had, OK? I had a rash in a slightly ominous position, quite high up the leg.
I like this story already.
OK, and it was a scary position to have a rash, so I thought I'd go and get it checked out. Not at my local GP, because he might report back to mother. I went to a random sort of clinic, as it were. I went into this clinic, the man took down my trousers, took hold of me.
Yes.
Literally, as he took hold of me, he went, "I've just realised who you are." Which is never the time to say that! "Oh, I know these anywhere." And he went, "My daughter's a big fan of yours. You're that George Lamb, aren't you?" And I was about to correct him, and then I thought, if this is something dodgy, I want his daughter thinking George Lamb had it, so I just went with it.
So someone out there thinks George Lamb
thinks George Lamb has a rash.